we are focusing on the piano today.
Right. Well, okay. So I want my statement to just be about the piano.
Okay.
Hi, I'm George Hazelrigg. I'm here today with Doug Fearn and my brother Joff Hazelrigg to talk about how we record pianos. We do a lot of sessions for people all over the world. They send us tracks and we play piano for them. I play piano for them. They ask us, why do your tracks sound so good? Well, that's what you're going to find out today. But first, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, follow us at Hazelrigg Industries on Instagram. There's lots more videos to come explaining all our engineering techniques. And don't forget to leave your questions and comments below here in this video. Today we're going to focus on recording grand piano. Recording an upright piano is a little bit different and possibly a little bit easier. Pianos are all different, and some of them have a strong treble, some of them have a strong tenor section, some of them have a lot of bass and not a lot of treble. So you really need to know your particular instrument. If you want to get a good sound off your grand piano, you need to know a little bit about how it works mechanically. I wanted to talk about this particular piano for a minute. It's an interesting sounding piano. It has a lot of different types of colors, and it is a challenging instrument to record because of how it's constructed. Along the bridges where the soundboard is energized by the vibration of the strings. For example, with Doug's Mason and Hammond here, the bridge design is a little bit different in that it has what they call a hook bridge, which features a tenor section that's a little bit less linear than what you would find in more modern designs. This changes where some of these sounds come from in the piano. And so finding the right sweet spot with a microphone is a little bit more work. Getting a left-right balance on this instrument is challenging, as I said, because it puts out a lot of bass and the notes are very spread apart in kind of a non-linear way. So mic placement on this piano is absolutely crucial. You move the thing an inch and you'll get a completely different outcome.
We use a AEA R88, which is a stereo ribbon microphone set in Bloomline where it is permanently. There's no changes you can make to it, which not only gives you an excellent stereo image, but it also provides a certain amount of ambience in the room.
The distance from the microphone is set from the piano makes a huge difference on the direct sound versus the reverberant sound that we get from the room. We're going to get a good sound at a distance of maybe 14 to 16 inches. The level difference from left to right, we of course want to try to capture as even a level across the instrument as possible. If the music is maybe favoring the higher side of the piano, obviously we'll get a little bit more treble captured.
With this piano, it's got a lot of low end, and we're trying to balance it a little bit more to the treble side. I follow the bridge line here from the treble all the way down to the bass, and I'm trying to find a spot that's about halfway between the treble and the bass, maybe favoring the treble side a little bit, because generally the low end of the piano will project a little bit more, right around where the bent side in the rim is here. So just about an octave up from middle C on the piano in this case.
The sounding board of the piano is really the resonant part of the piano. It's like a drum head or a top of a guitar. And the sound from the piano goes up and it goes down, and it does not project out, which is why normally in a concert situation, you use a piano with a lid that's open part way, which becomes a reflector to reflect out to the audience. And that works okay. But if you want to get the best piano sound, we found you need to take the lid off the piano. You need to take the lid off the piano. You need to take the lid off the piano. And when you do that, suddenly the piano has a completely different sound. It sounds much more natural. Doesn't sound that great in the room, but that's not important because what you're concerned about is what it sounds like in the recording.
You've got the strings terminated at one end where the tuning pins are, which don't make any sound at all. Okay. The sound from the piano comes off of the bridges and the soundboard, not from the hammers, as you might think when you're watching the mechanism work. Actually, you really get little to no sound off of the hammer end of the strings. Luckily, that's also far from where all the mechanical noise is in the piano, because these aren't things that you really want in your recording. You don't want the sound of hammers in action, making clacking, more percussive sounds. Pianists really mostly try to get their playing and their instruments to sound less percussive, and you try to get more of a singing tone out of an instrument, so that it's easier to carry a melody. If you're getting all percussive sounds, then that sort of undermines that objective. The miking technique that I think is most ineffective, that I see all the time with engineers, is the space pair on the hammer end. So you have a space pair right about here. The problem with that is the sound doesn't come from this end of the piano. The sound comes from the other end of the piano. And the other thing is, you'll get a completely uneven left to right sound that way, because one of the microphones is going to be much closer to the bridge than the other, and the sound comes from the bridge, not from the hammers. And so you'll get a very strong treble compared to a very weak bass end. That's all I got to say about that.
If you want the sound of the piano or any other thing you're recording to sound as good as it can possibly sound, of course you have to have a good microphone, but you also have to have a good microphone preamplifier, because if you lose it at that stage, you'll never get it back. All the things you hear today on this video and on all our videos and on the Hazelrigg's recording are all done with DW Fearn microphone preamplifiers. The peak levels coming off of the piano can be extremely high. So you need a mic preamp that has the dynamic range to handle that. Some microphones, more than others, are very sensitive to the load impedance presented by the mic preamp. We design our mic preamps to optimize that feature so that what comes out of that microphone is captured exactly the way the instrument sounds. I don't want to get any more technical than that.
No, that's good. So if you want to hear these techniques in action, a good way to hear it is on Hazelrigg Brothers' Songs We Like album. And that's our jazz trio. It's all recorded live, 3 instruments in the same room, no headphones. Check us out, Hazelrigg Brothers. Follow us on Facebook. Check out the record. And thanks for watching this video.